Okay, in today's session I'm going to go through handstand push-up progressions as I do a workout between handstand push-ups and weighted chin-ups. Now with the handstand push-ups, I'm going to progressively make them harder. I'm going to work with 2 repetitions once I've done a warm-up. But because my push is much stronger than my pull, I'm going to switch it around and do the pull first. So I'm doing weighted chin-ups, again 2 repetitions. I'm going to try and get my chest towards the bar. As soon as I go to weighted, I struggle to get the chest to the bar. So minimum, I want to get my chin over the bar to count as a repetition. So 2 reps, slowly increasing the weight each time. Short rests go into the handstand push-up variation. Now, obviously with the chin-ups, there's not really much technique apart from going from that passive hang position and then pulling all the way up to your chest towards the bar. So I'm not going to cover that in detail, but with the handstand push-ups, I'm going to talk about the progressions as I go and give alternatives as well. Because with the handstand push-up, there's a lot more variation in terms of the progressions. There's some tweaks you can make depending on your body type, strengths and weaknesses. So if you're still working towards freestanding handstand push-ups, I recommend that you do 2 movements per set. So you do 1 movement for your freestanding component and 1 movement for your strength. So working balance and strength. So for the strength section, we can have something like a pike push-up. So with the pike push-up, start with open shoulders, come forwards, load the hands and the shoulders, now come down, make that triangle between the head and the hands, make the toes as light as possible, push back up, open the shoulders at the top. Now we can change that, we can elevate the feet slightly. There is a flexibility component there as well, but I'd recommend as soon as you can, get up onto the wall and do some eccentrics. So coming down, now this could be elevated, so I could elevate the hands. If you can, you could do the full movements of going back up again. But then as soon as you've done the strength movement, then I'll turn it around the other way around, work on your freestanding. So if you're on and off the wall, pull off and like demand a 5-second hold or 10-second hold, depending on what you have. Now obviously if you don't have a chin up yet, you could do the same thing as we're doing with the handstand push-ups. You could do something like an eccentric. Single ring is really good and having a setup where you can move it up and down and you can then change it depending on your ability with the height. So chest touch on the ring, eccentric all the way down, and then if you need to, you can use a little bit of a toe assist to get back up. Remember, because we're doing this as part of the workout, we don't want something that's like 1 rep max. We don't want to keep failing each time. You want to be around that 60 to 70% success rate. You don't want to keep failing and then get fatigued or frustrated and then don't get a good session in. So these need to be working sets. So 60 to 70% good quality repetitions. And then if you fail 2 or 3, that's fine. Now, as you get fatigued or if you're working closer to your max on these handstand push-ups, we're going to see some technique fall apart slightly. Think about that the technique needs to be as perfect as possible on the eccentric, and then the concentric can get a little bit messy when you're working towards your maximal. So I might have something like a eccentric on the boxes, and I'm going to come down with as clean technique as possible, but then on the way back up, I might struggle to get up. So I'm going to lose position. I might go into a little bit of a banana, I might arch the back slightly, but one thing we want to try and demand if we're doing something like that is at the top of the movement, we hold with control. So notice on these sets I'm doing now, my working sets, my technique isn't perfect on the way back up, but when I get to the top, I demand a balanced handstand. If I failed that, I would jump up against the wall, pull off the wall, demand a 5 to 10 second balance. With the eccentrics especially, search for gaps. So watch your technique, so video yourself, watch what happens, look for areas where you struggle. So I might drop, catch, show control there, drop, catch. So the part, if I keep dropping through that section, that's the part I need to strengthen, that's the part I need time under tension. So then jump up against the wall or do something with a little bit of assistance to fill that gap with time, so you'll build capacity, conditioning and strength in that section. Because those gaps is probably what's stopping you do the concentric. So at the end, I just tested my 1 rep max, so I went for 40 kilos. I didn't quite get my chin to the bar, I was probably that far off. So with the 2 reps, I just made it at 35 kilos on the last set, but I thought I'd just max out and see what I could get for 1 rep. For the 1 rep for the handstand push-up, I'm just gonna go for a dead press. So try and make it as clean as possible, but really struggling after the chin-up work. So we'll see what happens. No. Normal deal, thumbs up and subscribe, we appreciate it, and I'll speak to you next time. Thanks, guys.